Welcome. Let us move to next sutra. After Vishoka was Jyotishmati, vīta-rāga-viṣayaṃ cittam. The quality of mind is such that whatever it perceives, it becomes. Whatever it perceives, it becomes that. Mind becomes the object of perception, and thus it appears so near to us. The sense of distance may be anything, but the object is near to you with these two things, the object itself and the sense of a distance. But the object has to be inside you. The object needs to enter you in order to perceive. So the quality of mind is such that it becomes the object. It becomes the object it perceives. If the sentence be completed. Is this clear? Everybody understands that. That mind becomes that object which it perceives. So this particular sutra is taking advantage of this quality of mind. What is it? Sutra says that you have to make your subject of focus or attention or awareness a vishaya, that means a subject which is vīta-rāga, vīta-rāga-viṣayaṃ, which means you have to focus on a cittam which is vīta-rāga. Vīta-rāga means dispassionate kind of state which is said to be desire-free state. So you have to find an object, especially object means a person, a subject has to be a person because it has to have cittam also. So you can't say I can focus on a log of wood because it is desire-free. That will also come later. However, for you, the practice is to focus on someone who is desire-free. Focus on a person who has desire-free cittam. So you can always fall back to the teachers of your tradition or anyone whom you adore and feel that the person is free of desire or at least at a level which is much, much higher than the ordinary. Because ordinary person would not have this much wisdom to just say that I can find no desires in this person. I experience that this person has no desires. Right? Now, this is to be understood here that we can always focus on someone whom we adore, admire, and give him that respect. That becomes the object of meditation here. That becomes the object of awareness. Right? And if the person is in front of you, nothing like it. However, if the person is not in front of you, then also you can do it from your smriti, from your kalpana. Correct? So, meditating on great saints, siddhas, and yoginis of your traditions is the practice. What it does, it absolves you of this tendency of antaraya, vikshepa, etc., and creates a stable state of mind. Correct? So, what should be our discussion and what it should be uh, our day-to-day routine? Which kind of people we should talk, discuss, and contemplate on, or at least focus our awareness on? Not the kind of people who are ordinary or who are materialistic, or not those whom we see loaded with flaws. Because if you are discussing such people, we're talking about such people, your mind will pick up certain vrittis. I'm not saying they will become deep-rooted sanskaras in you, but they will definitely become the vishaya of your perception, the subject of your perception for the time we are discussing anybody's negativity or negative attitudes, right? So the more you focus on such people, more you discuss, more you bring about their mentions, and more you give your mind space to such people, it is difficult for you to stay in a quiet state of mind. Correct? See, takeaways are to be, kept separately for practice. What should we do? How do we see? You may say that, Acharyaji, I don't think you are desire free, so we can't focus on your good. So at least you can say the Patanjali is desire free. I don't know. This is Swami Vivekananda was desire free. Say no, he had desire to spread Sanatan or Hinduism. I don't think so. So you may have your own logic. For who is desire free, you will have your own perception, your own yardsticks. However, when you look at the flock, the flock of people around you, at least those people you can always choose to discuss and talk about, those who are loaded with at least sattvic desires. That's the next best. I'm not saying it is the best or it is the practice. The practice is to be in the company of a desire-free teacher. To be in the company of a teacher or any person, he does not need to be a teacher. He can be he can be your neighbor also. He can be neighbor also, no problem. He can be your enemy also. Who knows? Who knows? नहीं ये बाबा से मेरी दुश्मनी है. You can think about that. Get rid of your dushmani and animosity. Focus on his cittam. Right? Now, vīta-rāga-viṣayaṃ also indicates at a subtle level that cittam has many vrittis. Many vrittis. Every cittam has many vrittis. Right? So, which vrittis we should focus on? The cittam has so many vrittis. Those vrittis can be vishaya or the subject of our awareness, So which vritti we should focus on or give importance to? Vīta-rāga. Even in your own mind space, you should focus on that kind of, even if it was a vritti of past, even if it was a vritti of past. Maybe right now you're not feeling good. You're not feeling quiet. You're not feeling dispassionate. At this moment, you're loaded with vrittis. Samskaras churning in your head. But you can go back in your own memory lane and find out your own time when you were quiet, calm, and kind of peaceful. You can go back and contemplate on that self that you were. And in that state, you will experience the similar chitta, which that means mirroring of chittam will happen. Correct? It does happen, everybody's experience, I'm sure. How do you recollect events? So when you recollect about any past event which is kind of disturbing, when you remember, when you put your awareness on such an incident, your chittam is filled with negativity and anger again, disturbances again. Correct? So this particular sutra is giving us clues in varied forms we can apply. If not vīta-rāga-viṣayaṃ, then at least aklishta-viṣayaṃ. Feel good, think good, and be in good company. रोना धोना वालों से दूर रहो. Keep distance. मीन मेख वालों से दूर रहो. Right? Those who promote happiness, those who promote peace, you should keep such company. Right? I'm not saying that you need to go on hunting for such people around. No. Every person, whatever way he is conducting a life, there are moments when the person is peaceful. There are moments when the same person who's mostly agitated, but he's also peaceful at times. So you can give space to that much duration of that person when he's peaceful. Don't think about anything else. Right? So that means selectively you have to give your attention. Pay attention. Even when people are loaded with all sort of negativities, look for the positive side in them, because that will enhance your own capacity. Right? So what it does indicate? It indicates that we should not be the one who is finding faults in others, because finding faults means the faults will also come in us. We should be appreciative of life, appreciative of people as much as they are. Right? If somebody is bad and good and everybody is mix of it, focus on the positives. And what it will do? It will take us to aklishta vrittis. Right? He's a very good manager, but pan khata hai. So don't think about pan, only think about good managing skills. Right? Wherever you see goodness, you need to give attention, pay attention, connect with it, and wherever you find it is not giving that sort of positive feeling to you, ignore it. Upeksha. Complete upeksha. So you have to be very selfish again. As I say, any spiritual seeker has to be the top-notch selfish person. And his selfishness is not that you want to steal or borrow something from anybody. You have to keep your peace of mind in all circumstances. That is your selfishness, right? Your selfishness is only for your peace of mind, your joyous state of being, because only that gives you a right kind of platform to do your spiritual practices. The sutra is straightforward. That make any subject of your awareness which is free of desire. क्यों भाई? Free of desire. Who is free of desire? Nobody is free of desire. You say, I'll take the example of Buddha. He is also full of desire. Desire in the sense that he wants to liberate people. He wants to communicate to people for their good. That is also a desire. Nobody is desire free. And I say, I will focus on gods and goddesses. You see, they are also, at least in our prayers, we find them so, right? Sharanagata Deenata Paritrana Parayana, someone who is willing to, desirous of helping only will come to help you, right? So even gods are not. What to talk of men? So we need to find better subjects of contemplation. Wherever you find peace, joy, by connecting to any figure, in any human figure, divine figure, figure of past, present, or even in your imagination, if you think such a person exists, you can. For example, we all heard this Dakshinamurti Stotra, right? Who is Dakshinamurti? Is a directly Lord himself, but he is a guru, right? He is a guru figure. His description is so elating. His description of capacities and the state of being that he is, contemplating on such a figure, which is of course your imagination. You have never seen unmet Dakshinamurti, right? But when you are praising that person, when you create a personality using the Shabda Praman or words or a Stotra, then you create such a persona in your mind. And when you focus on such an imaginary object, even that is going to bring about this desired change in us, which is stability of mind. Or at least, if not that, no less than positive state of mind. Correct? That's the least you can get. Nobody can take away that from you. If you're talking about, thinking about, imagining about good people, you will feel good only. Right? So drop your magnifying glasses. Throw them away. Don't look for faults. Rather, be appreciative of what positive you can see in a person. Never try to dig into anybody's past only to know what negativity that person might have had. Don't try. Right? Only for people I'm telling, only for the person who are listening to the discourse. I'm not saying this is not to be done ever. In controlled situations, such expressions, in controlled situation, in the right kind of influences, such digging can help also. Because the influence is so positive that every negativity which comes out from the deep, dark abysses of your, what you call, cittam, just simply melts away. right? Even your grief, sorrow, all such negativity that you feel evaporates when you say it in front of a right candidate. Not everybody, not every person you can say such things, but you say such things in the presence of someone who is positive from within, benevolent, peaceful, right? In the state of at least sattva, if not dispassionate completely. When you express yourself, you will be you will be helped. Correct? So that will happen only occasionally, right? All your friends, all your circle in which you generally interact, most of people will not be like that. Right? Hmm? Most means I can say 100%. They will not be like this. So don't try to recollect your negative things and what you know about your own negative experiences in front of everyone. Why? Because that will only enhance your negative. Only in the right places, if you express it, you are unburdened. You may feel lighter at the end, or else you will become more and more engrossed in the negativity that you actually shared with somebody. That, okay, I felt this, I felt that, right? And our tendencies are such that wherever we get to hear that, we open up. That's not the right way. Beware of it. Wherever you listen this now, you should not. But mostly you will find that you open up and start that wo HMD ka tape the record in such places only where you get to hear this. You say empathy, empathy. No empathy. No empathy, no sympathy. Only listening and being present by such holy kind of presence which you get in saints and sages, they liberate you. In Ramcharitmanas, Sita ji in Ashok Vatika, when Hanuman comes, you see, Hanuman is a bhakta. After having understood that he is Jana Manakram Vachanaya Kripa Sindhu Karadas, after that, Sita opens up, right? And when she says this, she adds, Kahu te kach dukh ghati, that the pain reduces after sharing, but not with everyone. Right? Only two people in Ashok Vatika knew what Sita was going through. One, Sita herself, and the other one was another lady, Trijata. Trijata was close to mother, and she was very kind-hearted, despite being born in the family of demons. So even there, good people can be found, right? So it's only for us to be in that state of continuous awareness where we are able to actually see who are the right candidates. You need not make mistakes. You have to be 100% sure before you open. Correct? But anyways, not getting there. It's a too practical thing, and you would probably be guided in this subject by many people. I'm saying that when we are working on our cleansing our cittam, creating a right kind of environment in our cittam, we have to be aware of one simple fact: that whatever we give a space in our mind, that shapes our future. and the current state also. So if vīta-rāga-viṣayaṃ becomes the dominant thing in our head, in our being, in our cittam, our mind will also be quiet. So even gods have been described like that. Shantakaram bhujagashayanam. Begins with Shanti only. All positivity. And there Karpura Gauram Karuna Is it? All good things. Only focus on those words. Feel them. Then you will be observing change and the shift that is required. What is it? पढ़ गए कुछ समझ में नहीं आया पूरा स्तोत्र पढ़ लिया पूरी स्तुति पढ़ ली every shloka we read and it's by heart. Most of you have it by heart, right? So we say first devata who is to be worshipped. Please understand. First devata who is to be worshipped before everyone. You know who is the Ganesh, right? Ganapati. Which means that's the beginning of your spiritual journey. He sits in Mooladhara, it is said. Now, what is the prerequisite for a spiritual journey? That what Ganapati bestows on us. For example, if you go to this very ordinary and very common prayer which we say what? Gajaranam Bhuta Ganadi Sevana. These are the characteristics. Fine. Kapitha Jambu Phalitam. Furthermore characteristics. These are personal. What to others? Shoka Vinashaka Harika. You have to drop this. Shoka nahi ho sakta. You can't be in sorrow and progress on spirituality. First God. What he does? Shoka Vinasha. You can't say, I'm sad, I'm depressed, I need a meditation. No, you need counseling. Yeah. You need medication. You need therapies. You don't need a meditation. First, become joyous. All shoka has to go away. Then only the progress. At least first step. Then onwards, only first step. Not before that. So now you have understood why Ganapati is worshipped first, or by singing this prayer will we become shoka free, free of shoka, free of sorrow, free of sadness? If we cannot, then we are not singing the prayer. And when I say joy, if you don't feel the joy, it's merely a word. If I say beauty, and if you don't start feeling positive here, right? You have not heard the word. But if I say pathetic, and you immediately relate with it, understand what are our tendencies. How easily we get drowned into the pool of negativity. So positive words don't pull us up, but negative words throw us back in the muck. Why? Because we don't have any taste for it. We don't appreciate what they do to us. So even words do that. And I'll tell you, in every mantra, in every even so-called religious rituals, you'll find that it begins with Shanti mantra. See? Shanti mantra. First, Shanti has to come. If you can't be happy, at least Shanti to come. Minimum this much. So Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Suppose somebody says Shanti, you are not feeling Shanti, that means the word has no meaning. This word has not become subjective experience. So when you say Shanti, it should not be only a word to it. I'll tell you. One more example to I challenge you. Just for 10 minutes, if you say headache, 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 for 10 minutes, just do that. 9 out of 10, you will get headache. Just say the word headache for 10 minutes. Right? Those who don't get it in 10 minutes, probably they are already having it. Right? They are not sensing it. Oh, there are two types of rogis, two types of persons. Diseased person of two types. One rogi and another one is sadarogi. So most of us fall in the category of sadarogi. Never healthy. आज क्या है? आज कमर में दर्द है. आज क्या है? आज यहाँ दर्द है. कहीं नहीं है तो फिर दिल में दर्द है. राइट? और कुछ भी नहीं है तो घर में ना कोई, पड़ोस में कोई ना कोई, ऑफिस में कोई ना कोई सर दर्द. So we are sadarogi. And the solution lies in connecting with the right kind of positive kind of words, giving a space to right kind of people, even if they are imaginary, doesn't matter. Right? Every devata is an imagination of yours, at least as of now. Is it not? Have you met Ganpati somewhere? But we value it only for the attributes we project onto it. For now, I'm saying, Ganpati is a reality. However, for ordinary people who have just begun to worship, it is an imagination, is it not? So even in imagination, when you create an idol for you, it helps. Connecting with siddhas, connecting with sages, connecting with yogis, connecting with high caliber people who are rooted in sattva, and thinking about, if ordinarily we have to think about ordinary people. So even when we are thinking about ordinary people, we need to selectively think as much as we are comfortable with, which gives us joy. Forget everything else. Right? Right? In every relationship, we have this issue. Some part is not tolerable, some part is very good. The world is like that. Everybody is a mixed bag. So in this mixed bag, you have to choose. This much I need. I don't need everything. Drop everything else. Let the person keep it. Why are you borrowing? Correct? Why are you mirroring it? So in a nutshell, this is a practice of focusing on your idol, focusing on your teacher, a practice of focusing on any saint, any sage, any divine figure, any figure which you imagine and think that he exists, having faith that he exists, focus on the cittam of such a person. See? What we do is mostly, even when we think of gods, we have seen that most of the descriptions provided in such stutis are also very much, mostly 90% of it is external appearance, right? But those stutis are much more effective where the attitude is being described, correct? Especially in Sapta Shloki, if you see, the form has not been described. Only attitudes are being described. Qualities are being described. Look at that. And that is why it's such a powerful prayer. We need to objectify even the divine forces like that. So once we create a personality, the body, then we focus on the cittam. And if you ask me, Durga Saptashloki is the state of cittam of Devi. Focus on that. Every one of you have it. We sing it in the beginning every time. But how much you receive from it, how much you are influenced from it, is up to you. How much positivity you draw from it, it is up to you. If you do it just like a time pass ritual, हाँ ठीक है ये कर लेते हैं फिर है ना फिर पढ़ना शुरू करेंगे. Focus on everything that is done in these discourses. Don't think the discourse begin only when I come. It begins with your prayer. That is the time for you to become more and more aware of all positivity that you can cultivate in this time. Even if I am absent, you can create it for yourself. Only by contemplating on this, right? Each and every word spoken there in your stuti leads to aklishta state of your cittam. Only if you can live that word, experience that, right? So not getting into too much of this digression, because Patanjali is not saying all this. Patanjali has to forgive. Because Patanjali is simply saying that focus on any figure, any human who is free of desire. That's the practice. If you don't know whether somebody is free of desire, Patanjali has not given you this method, but I can tell you this, that focus on someone who is full of sattva, at least loaded with benevolence, compassion, joy, right? So this much you can do. So this sutra is this much. You have any question?
Gurudev, I have a question. Gurudev, when you say in the practice we have to focus on the cittam of like such a person, what does it actually mean? Again, as you explained, like focusing on the quality, the behavior and everything. Does that mean the same thing?
I think you have already answered that. However, let me clarify. Suppose a person is manipulative. Let's say this person is manipulative. Okay, good. Manipulative. You use this word, this person is very manipulative. You say this person is very cunning. Can you describe how a cunning person walks? Can you describe? Is a cunning person has two horns and one tail? Cunning means an attitude which is embedded in the chittam itself, correct? Now, manipulative is again the same thing. Shanta, if this person is Shanta, of course, there are certain indications at the level of body also. However, the compassionate person, how does he look? No difference. So there is no such correlation between the Swarupa and Swabhava. This outer Swarupa. Now, so rather, let's say not Swarupa, let's say Rupa. Rupa and Bhava. So when we say focus on the chittam of such a person, which means you have to imbibe those qualities immediately in your chittam, then only the chittam can be thought of. अभी अपना तो देखना पड़ेगा ना, दूसरे का कहाँ देख पाते? Have you ever been able to see anybody else's chittam? Your own is not available for you. So to be able to see that chittam of someone who is vīta-rāga, you'll have to get to your own chittam. That is why it is said that this practice is going to help you in cultivating the concentration, the attitude of positivity, uplifter, and all that. You have to go to your own chitta, right? Hmm? Acha, have you not gone to doctors when they ask kidhar dard ho raha, where is it, where does it pain? And person will try to explain, and maybe he is not clear in his words, he is not able to explain. Then either the doctor will touch him on the spot, they say idhar hota hai, or maybe if that person is having severe pain, then he'll touch his own self and say idhar hota hai kya, is jagah pe hota hai. So you relate to this only by going to the same place. So if we are talking about the chitta, which is vīta-rāga, you have to look within your own chitta, nowhere else. These qualities are to be contemplated on. So that means you become that. That is why I began this talk by saying that your chittam has the quality to become what it perceives. If shanti is perceived, it will become shanti. Either you're not able to perceive shanti itself. The word shanti has no meaning, or maybe you don't have any prior experience of this particular word. Then you may not be able to experience it. But if you have it and you are correlated with a particular word, the word will be able to produce shanti. Should be. Correct? And it does its work. Not that. अच्छा जब लड़ाई हो जाती है दो लोगों के बीच में, what say, भाई शांत हो जाओ, शांत हो जाओ. Only this much you say, and finally, if anybody is persistent in saying शांत हो जाओ, होते हैं ना शांत. Which means what? They understand ना शांत का मतलब क्या होता है. It does affect. सबको पता है शांति का क्या मतलब है. आपको भी पता है. लेकिन अपने बारे में we become complacent. We say shanti and still don't feel it. Or rather, we don't want to. Therefore, we don't feel it. All right. So that's it.
Shubham Acharya ji. I have a question, but not regarding this sutra.
Any question is well.
Acharya ji, माँ ने एक मॉर्निंग में एक सूत्र पोस्ट किया था जो या तो मुझे समझ में नहीं आया. बिना अनुभव कर्ता के का अनुभव ही परम तत्व है.
अभी यही तो बात है, इसको समझना पड़ेगा. ये दो लेवल्स हैं. Okay, let me explain, then you will understand the depth of this sentence. See, when I said shanti, so you said I experience shanti, right? I experience shanti, correct? I experience shanti. इसमें क्या है? You say that अब ये परम सत्य पे जाने की बात हो रही है. If you are experiencing shanti, that means your chittam is shanti agam, and I is still separate from it. Correct? I and shanti are the two things. I experience shanti. Now, which I? That you need to understand. The I concerned here is small I, the small letter I, not the big I, the supreme I. So this small I will only experience and as a limited identity only. Correct? It cannot be param satya. Understand? When this I is also dissolved, only experience remains. Understand? Only experience remains. I also dissolve. Then this permeates to the everything. Means it becomes expansive state of your consciousness. So consciousness is not the experiencer. Please understand. Consciousness is not the experiencer that way. It is that substratum on which every experience comes. Experiencer word नहीं use कर सकते. When you say I know a particular thing, there is a knower. and there is the object. Correct? That you have an experience of an object. Correct? ये ठीक है. Now this knower is always going to be a limited being, because object is being experienced. Correct? Now there are only two possibilities. Either the knower, which was limited, dissipates and becomes infinite, right? Or the object dissipates and becomes infinite. Correct? There are only two possibilities in which you will be able to reach the परम सत्य. ठीक? तो यहाँ पे माने ये कहने की कोशिश की है कि अनुभव कर्ता को डिसॉल्व होना पड़ेगा, इस लिमिटेड आइडेंटिटी को डिसॉल्व होना पड़ेगा, जो अपने को लिमिटेड मान के अनुभव कर रहा है. हम लोग तो अपने को ऑलरेडी सुप्रीम समझ के बैठे हैं ना. हम लोग तो सुबह शाम शिवोहम का मंत्र गाते, तो हमको लगता है हम तो लिमिटेड है ही नहीं, हम तो अनुभव कर रहे हैं, तो मतलब शिवत्व का ही अनुभव हो रहा. Actually, that is the catch. When I say knower, see, when you say I know this subject, suppose say, you say I know this subject. Now you will say the knower is not the experiencer. Most of people will say the knower is the experiencer. Correct?
Yes.
Correct. Now, if knower is the experiencer, then you have mixed out Chaitanya. When the knower dissolves, then only Chaitanya is right. अनुभव कर्ता का अनुभव, स्वयं का अनुभव जो होता है, उसको अनुभव नहीं कह सकते. ये समस्या है. स्वयं का अनुभव तो होगा ही. ये भी तो एक अनुभव है ना
जी.
अनुभव स्वयं का भी नहीं रहेगा तो चैतन्यम का स्वभाव ही खत्म हो जाएगा, चित्त स्वभाव ही समाप्त हो जाएगा. अनुभव करना ही चैतन्य का स्वभाव है. ठीक? लेकिन अनुभव करता, जैसे हम अनुभव करता वर्ड यूज करते हैं, वैसे ही हम लिमिटेड आइडेंटिटी में ये करता वर्ड जहां जुड़ जाता. इसलिए मैंने क्या बोला, देयर आर टू लेवल्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस, परम सत्य एंड सत्य. दिस इज शुद्ध अहंता एंड पूर्ण अहंता. पूर्ण अहंता अनुभव है बिना अनुभव करता का. क्यों? क्योंकि अनुभव करता जैसे ही कहते हैं, हम एक अनुभव के साथ जोड़ के कहते हैं. यहां पर केवल होने का अनुभव, इसमें कोई और अनुभव नहीं. इसलिए अनुभव करता डिसॉल्व हो जाता है. Actually, the word anubhav may not be exactly communicating that spirit. However, let me tell you. This is, let me tell you this. This is story of two birds in Vedanta. One sitting on the higher pedestal and the one sitting lower. Now, the bird sitting at a lower branch eats good fruit, means sweet fruits and bitter fruits, and then suffers. Acha, tell me, this suffering is anubhav or not?
Yes.
Right? Who is experiencing it? This lower twig wala, lower branch wala. ये अनुभव, इसका अनुभव करता कौन है? यही नीचे वाला. राइट? ये अनुभव करता जब डिसॉल्व होता है, तभी वो ऊपर की ब्रांच वाला मिलता. राइट? तो ये बेसिकली
हम अनुभव करता नहीं बोलेंगे, ऊपर वाले को अनुभव करता नहीं बोलेंगे.
हाँ, एग्जैक्टली. उसमें क्या है, अनुभव करता जब हम कहते हैं ना, तो वी बेसिकली ऑब्जेक्टिफाई द वर्ड. डिफरेंशिएटेड होगा वर्ड, तभी आप अनुभव करता वर्ड यूज करते हैं. राइट? नहीं तो कोई भी वर्ड यूज कर सकते थे. हमने चैतन्य में एक वर्ड यूज किया वहां. राइट? Awareness, when it is focused on some object, anubhav karta is born. Please understand. The God has become anubhav karta in us. That Chaitanyam has become anubhav karta. And are we not experiencing life, whatever it is? And when we experience this life, we experience it as a limited being. This is anubhav karta. And as you become free of this, that means this identity is dissolved, then whatever remains, whatever anubhav remains, is of self, param. Makes sense now? Understood? Okay? Chalo. So let's close it today. Let's pray and then we'll do. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kasyid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Om Shiva.